We've been telling you for some time that you'll need to have ADS-B out by 2020 if you want to continue flying in all the airspace that currently requires a Mode C transponder. But only about 10% of the GA fleet has equipped so far. And that really concerns the FAA. They need ADS-B to make the next-gen traffic system work. They've really tried the stick, and now here comes the carrot. At the Wichita Aero Club, the FAA announced a $500 rebate for pilots who equip with ADS-B out. The 2020 mandate is looming, and the majority of GA airplanes are not yet equipped.
We estimate that up to 160,000 GA aircraft have to equip in advance of the 2020 deadline. We suspect that a lot of people are saying, well, geez, the cost has come down a lot in the last couple of years. You know, now it's like in the $2,000 range, and they're thinking maybe it's going to drop a little bit more. What we're saying is, look, we'll bet you $500 that it's not going to drop. What you probably should do is equip right now, and that's the incentive we want to provide.
The rebate is available to the first 20,000 owners who apply. It will end a year from when it is launched this fall. Bad news if you've already equipped. The rebate only applies to installations started later this year when the program begins. The rebate is for one plane, one owner, and it only applies to single-engine piston airplanes.
Now, for those that have equipped, the early adopters, we certainly thank them for their being early adopters and for equipping, and I think they would say they've gotten a lot of benefit as a result of having been equipped. And so we want to encourage them to encourage all of their friends who haven't equipped, hey, take advantage of this rebate, do it now.
AOPA worked with the FAA to help make the rebate happen.
We've actually been working with the administrator directly on this for over a year and a half. And the idea that we've actually got something that I think is actually digestible and comes back to the consumer as a $500 credit for making the decision now, I think it's really good. So I'm hopeful that people are going to get off the dime and get going.
To find out more about the rebate program, go to www.faa.gov/go/rebate.
And Melissa, we've been hearing a lot of feedback from the members already about this. So number one, why isn't it retroactive? Some folks have already installed and they're a little bit upset.
Yes, they are, and I don't blame them. In fact, we've got folks here that work at AOPA that have already installed. And unfortunately, the government's goal with this program is to increase the number of units out there. And so about 18,000 folks have equipped, and there's enough money in the pot right now to equip 20,000 airplanes. So the government would not have approved the program if 18,000 of the slots were taken up by folks that were early adopters, and we absolutely agree with that sentiment. It's unfortunate. We've been advocating for this type of incentive for a long time, and unfortunately, the timing was what it is.
So it really isn't to make you whole for installing ADS-B, it's just a little extra push to install it.
Yes, and we hope that the program is successful because we believe we can go back to the well if it is. And if the FAA's goal is to get a tipping point, the more folks equipped, the better the system is, and we reap the safety benefits that ADS-B brings. Okay,
the other thing we've been hearing is why announce it now if it's not even going to be implemented until the fall?
Seems silly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think so. FAA actually had hoped not to have to do that, but unfortunately, under the regulatory requirements, there is a notice and comment requirement by regulatory law. And so we couldn't get around that, and that's a requirement that cuts both ways. We like the FAA to have to tell us when they're going to do something so that we have the opportunity to comment. But again, it can cut both ways, and in this case, unfortunately, it does create a lag. But we're hoping that we can create enough incentive that folks are prepared and ready to equip when it goes live this fall.
Well, bottom line, it may not be ideal, but it sure is nice to have the carrot as well as the stick.
Absolutely.
Okay.